Good morning. Thanks so much for being here, for watching. Let's dive into our hour-long restorative practice. Just finding a comfortable seat. Oh, if you don't, get up quick and get either a bolster or cushions, rolled up towels work really good, rolled up beach towels. We're going to do a couple poses today that it just really helps if you have those nearby. We're going to end in like a supported fish shavasana to open up our hearts. So you'll really want something to lay on, preferably something a little bit firm. Just find your comfortable seat. Maybe close down your eyes. Maybe bring a little touch of your hands, rubbing them together. Maybe touching your face, exploring some of that self-havening touch to begin. Maybe stroking down your neck or squeezing the back of your neck. Maybe rubbing your jaw or your temples. Maybe jutting out that lower jaw and making a noise. Trying to release that jaw, release that tongue. Maybe you find a rub of your scalp or that occiput, that soft spot at the bottom of your skull. Oh, and if you find something that feels good, just stay there, maybe pressing into your eyes, creating a little pressure on those closed lids. Maybe rubbing earlobes. There's just so many options. When you're ready, just melting those hands back down into your lap. Bringing your focus to your breath, the way it sounds, the way it feels as it moves through your body. Today I'm going to just talk a little bit about the ego. Sure, if you're on the internet or living in the world, you hear a lot about the ego. It's a really big idea that I'm going to distill down just for the purposes of our practice today, and maybe you'll find an intention within this little chat. The simplest way to think about ego is that it's your fear. It's a survival mechanism. It wants to keep us safe. It wants to protect us, but it is just a part of the story. Maybe bring your hand to your heart or to your solar plexus, that area below the chest and above the belly. Give it a little rub. And maybe just acknowledge that the ego is there to keep us safe, and we can bow to that. We want to be safe. We want to be protected. But the ego's voice is very loud. And sometimes the wise woman, that true nature, is drowned out. She is a whisper and the ego is a shout. We know who wins. And bringing your hand down to your belly and trying to hear the whisper. This is the loving voice, this eternal, vast connection to the universe, to the earth, to all of the mothers that are around us. The reason I started my practice is because I started to hear that whisper, and I wanted to devote my life to turning up her volume while turning down the volume of my ego, of my fear. Maybe there's an intention for you somewhere in there. a word or a phrase or an idea or an image. There is nothing wrong with being protected, but if all we are is protective layers, then our heart cannot shine through. So the way we combat protection is through love. The phrase that I woke up with this morning that will be sort of my mantra throughout, and please borrow it, please use it for all of us, is I love you no matter what. And that you is me, and that you is all of you practicing. I love you no matter what. So when the ego comes in with regret, or you shouldn't have said that, or I wonder what they're thinking about me, I love you no matter what. Whatever you did, even if it was a, perceived mistake, even if maybe it wasn't fully aligned with who you're trying to be, that's okay. The human experience is the whole point of the practice. We are not trying to be perfect. We are trying to be love. And love forgives all. And love is always with us. It is our birthright. You bring some voice to your breath. A sigh or the sound of ha. You can leave your eyes closed as we move into our pranayama. Feel free to adjust your legs if you'd like. We're going to begin with Robin's breath. And what we're going to do here is just a really intentional breathing. So you're just going to be really aware of your inhale and your exhale. That's it. When your mind races off, that's okay. But bring it back to, how does this feel? How does this sound? How is my breath moving me? And we're going to couple that with some really connected movement. So we're going to begin by putting your fingertips on your shoulders. And on your inhale, you're going to fold in and round that back. Energetically bring your elbows toward each other. And on the exhale, roll those shoulders back. Slight arch. Elbows reach behind. Inhale and round, bringing those wings in. Exhale and rolling them back. And just moving through this at your own pace with your own breath. If you want to open up your arms, you can, bringing them forward as you round, elbows straight, back of the hands touching, and then arching back. Really accentuating the roll of your shoulders and the rounding and the arching. Into side body stretch. Inhaling to the left, stretching over, and exhaling to the right, making a rainbow. Reaching left, inhaling. Exhaling over to the right. Feeling that side body opening, just beginning to wake our bodies up. If you're not feeling particularly invigorated today, that's okay. The goal is not to put ourselves into stress. The goal is to start to connect our movement with our breath, our mind with our body, and then all of it really being tapped into our spirit. And on your next inhale, you're going to reach forward in front of you, maybe dropping that head down, and then exhaling, cactusing those arms back. Inhaling, reaching forward. Exhaling, cactusing back. Maybe dropping right ear to right shoulder. And then inhaling back to center and forward. Cactusing back, maybe dropping left ear, left shoulder. A few more of those. Now we'll be putting it all together in a flow. So you'll robin's breath, inhale with your wings forward and then back on your exhale. Inhale, side stretch left. Exhale, side stretch right. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, cactus, and do it all again. Inhale, wings and round. Exhale, reach behind. Inhale, side body stretch. Exhale, other way. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, cactus behind. We're going to just do this a couple more times. Your pace, your movement. Next time you find yourself sitting upright, relaxing your hands down, pausing and noticing. Letting what rises to the surface rise, acknowledge it. Maybe infuse it with a loving thought, a kind thought, a soft thought. I love you no matter what. We're just going to explore some head rolls. So you're going to drop it in a half circle, chin towards your chest, and then come to left ear, left side. Inhale, drop it down in a half circle, right ear, right side, and just moving through that with your breath. Don't overthink it, just feel into it. And stay just like this, or if it feels good, you can complete that circle behind. And then coming to rest for a breath or two when you land ear to shoulder. Trying to send breath into those tight pockets of tension, which are what has built in your ego's grip of survival and protection. And I like to think of the breath as the love. When you send the breath into the tight pockets, it's like sending the love into the fear. We're not banishing the fear. We're not shaming the fear. We're just trying to balance it with the truth of love. When you feel complete, finding a few big shoulder rolls back and then settling into stillness. Roll down onto our back and find Vanasana, which is just banana pose. So legs stretch out long in front of you. Just take a moment in this laying down. And when you're ready, walking both of your feet to the bottom left corner of your mat, and then walking both hands to the top left corner of your mat. So you're in this like curved shape where the right side of your ribs are sticking out a bit, and the left side body is in a bit of a contraction. You're welcome to cross right ankle over left. Grab the left wrist with the right hand, whatever feels good. Notice where you're experiencing the sensation. Mm. It's a beautiful time to devote to yin practice, tapping into our lunar channel, the feminine, the mystery. We have dark days left, even though it's the solstice, and embracing the darkness, not fighting against it, not being angry with it. You belong to the darkness as much as to the light. And using it as the most beautiful excuse to rest, to hibernate, to say no, to stay home, to eat stew and bread. Breathe deep into that right side body, deep into your belly. And on the exhale, let a protective idea go. What are you afraid of? Just loosen the tight grip it has on you. By sending your breath, by sending your love. Mm. Uncrossing anything that's crossed and just working your way back to center with your arms and your legs. Maybe interlacing your fingertips and placing them underneath your skull, underneath the back of your head, so that your elbows are sort of winging open. If this is uncomfortable, you're welcome to just raise your arms up overhead and see how that feels, or slowly bring them overhead with straight elbows and maybe resting the back of your hands on your bolster. So lots of options to start to open into our shoulders, over the lumbar, chin line. Releasing those hands, walking those legs to the bottom right corner of your mat, arms to the top right corner of your mat. While finding that curved shape in your body like a banana. We'll be here for 3 minutes, so find your place of stillness. If you find yourself in your days overthinking with that racing mind, often that is a sign that we're deeply in our ego, that voice is louder than all the rest. And it's a good practice to just do a pose, get into your body, take a deep breath, get into your breath. Repeat your mantra. Connect to the greater wisdom that's inside of you, that's your spirit, that's your heart. When they work in communion, the mind is a beautiful thing. Breathing deeply into that left side body. Three more deep breaths. When you feel complete, coming back to center. We're gonna find a reclined side body stretch so you can roll onto the right side of your body, almost in a fetal position, and bring that bolster or rolled up towel, whatever you have, to horizontal along your mat and laying your ribs. So you're sitting your hip right up against the bolster and then laying your ribs down over the bolster, like you're draping that side body over the bolster. And then you can rest your head on your outstretched right arm or on another pillow if you'd like that. We're here for just 10 deep breaths, opening up into that left side body, but also knowing that that contraction, that pressure on your right intercostals is helping the fascia release as well. So we have expansion and contraction both feeding release. And your only responsibility is to breathe deeply and fully. Mm. Vibrating a hum on your exhale. Mm. And really slowly and restfully, just finding your way to the other side, whether that's rolling on your back or your belly, and draping those left ribs over the bolster. Mm. 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 Bring your awareness to that left side body and how the pressure feels against the bolster. Can you use your breath to soften the resistance, to create a melting sensation, a leaning in instead of a pushing against? 3 more deep breaths here. Hmm. If you want to maintain this restful demeanor, you can just slowly bring your way up to seated, or you can remove the bolster and rock and roll lengthwise along your spine just to bring a bit more invigoration to your practice. Just listening to yourself and what you need in the moment. And once you arrive, just finding some body rolls. Inhaling forward and then rounding, tucking that chin, really rounding your spine all the way from top to bottom, feeling even your sacrum tucking under. If you haven't already, just switching directions. Moving your right leg in front and swinging that left leg back so both legs are in a bent position. It's just a deer pose. So front leg is bent, back leg is also bent. You're just going to bring your left hand to your heart. Right hand is just placed gently behind you somewhere. It's not an exact. And we're going to inhale into our chest and then exhale and reach and a slight twist toward the right, and then inhale and bring it back in toward your chest and center. Exhale and reach. Just moving through this at your own pace. Mm. Hello, dear. Are you there? Just a random restart of my computer. Hi. Can
Oh,
you hear me okay? Okay.
yes, yes. I was just like laying,
Okay.
minding my own business. I don't know.
I'm so proud of you. That's exactly the right thing. We're gonna just switch sides of our deer. So now left bent leg would be in front, right behind. Hand to your heart. Just breathing into that chest space, seeing that glow, and then exhaling and reaching toward the left. Gentle twist. Inhaling and reaching and just moving through this. Mm. Mm. And coming back towards center, finding your butterfly shape, soles of the feet to touch, knees wide. We're just going to explore a few wrist rolls. So, palms of the hands together in a prayer, and then open them toward you like you're reading a book. And then you're going to bring the backs of your hands to touch, fingers curling in towards your chest and back up. So, we're just making a revolution like that with our wrists. So again, book opens toward you, fingertips point down toward the chest. You might feel some snack crackle and pops, and just really breathe into those spaces. And then we're gonna switch. So instead of the book opening toward you, it's gonna open out, and then the fingertips are gonna reach down and then toward you. Don't overthink it. We're just making circles with our wrists. Beautiful. And now we're just gonna take a moment to rub our finger joints. So just using your own touch, just really rubbing up the pinky and then the pointer. Oh, that's the ring. And then the middle. Our hands hold a lot for us. And switching your hands, just finding that love, that warmth of our own touch. Beautiful. We're gonna move into garland pose. You can have your bolster nearby. Feet are gonna be about as wide as your mat, toes pointing slightly out, and just finding this really low squat. And you can absolutely sit on the bolster or on a prop if you want it to be less active, or a yoga block if you have one, stack of books. You can have your hands in prayer, elbows gently pushing into the knees, knees pushing gently into the elbows. So we have this co-contraction. So even if you're sitting on a prop, you can still bring, some activity to the inner legs by knees pushing into elbows, elbows pushing into knees. This is a beautiful place to stay, or if you'd like to explore more, you can reach your left arm out onto the floor beyond your toes. Twist that right elbow up to the sky and look up. Also a great place to stay. Or you can bring the rest of the arm extended up. And then releasing, rounding that back, maybe shaking that head side to side. Leaving that right arm out, left elbow extends up toward the sky. Arm, if you'd like. Coming back to center. Hands on the floor in front of you, toes turning in, and we're just going to come to a dangling pose. So knees can be very bent or slightly bent. You can reach for opposite elbows if you'd like. You can find a gentle sway side to side. You can clasp your hands behind your neck and just have a gentle pull toward the earth. All up, holding breath into the space of your soul. Bring your hands to your shins or your thighs, finding a flat back. Head in line, so you'll be looking at the earth. And then folding over those legs. Again, flat back. Tailbone being pulled behind you, top of the head being pulled in front of you. Feel that length. And then folding and bending those knees. One more time, flat back, feeling that stretch, like there's a string on the top of your head and a string on your ass, and someone's just gently pulling you. And then fold. Shake that head, yes and no. And then one vertebra at a time, rolling up to standing. Taking a moment here, maybe closing down the eyes. Good time to return to your intention, your word, your phrase, your image. Bring the soles of your, oh, excuse me, not the soles of your feet. Bring your feet together. Both arms raise up overhead, interlacing your fingers, releasing the pointer finger. So you're in like this sort of a shape. Biceps by your ears. If you find this is really difficult to keep your arms extended, your elbows straight, you can just release the left down to your side and keep your right arm straight and by your ear. Inhale and pull up toward the sky. And then exhale and bend over toward the left. Right hips really pushing toward the right, really contracting the left side of the body. Feel on the right side. Continue to breathe, even if it's a little more shallow, that's okay. And inhale up, center, dropping down that right arm, left arm stays up. Inhaling, stretching straight up, and then exhaling, bending toward the right into our half moon. Try to move your hips in line. Right hip slightly back, excuse me, left hip slightly back, right hip slightly forward. And reach up to center, releasing those arms down, taking a moment. And feet can stay together. You can move them slightly apart, about, 6 inches, and you can drop into your chair pose. So arms sweep up. If your shoulders are sore, achy, you can just bring it into a cactus. But again, picture someone has a string tied to the bottom of your tailbone and is pulling you back. So you can see your toes beneath your knees. You're almost gonna fall behind and then stand back up. Beautiful job. We're gonna do it again. Chair pose. This time we're gonna, on our exhale, make a ha sound, ha, and drop our arms down and bend our knees. And again, chair, inhale. And just move through this on your own. Let something go. Loosen the grip of fear. Let the love in. Beautiful. Raise back up. And we're going to move through that flow with half moon, chair, release. So what it looks like is both arms raising up, inhale, and then half moon to the left, body bends. Inhale, half moon to the right. Inhale to center, drop down into chair and release, and then slowly roll up. Now let's do half moon to the right, center, half moon to the left, center, drop down into chair, release, and roll up. And just move through this at your own pace for a few moments. Make it flow with your breath. And when you feel complete, come back to standing, pause, notice, allow. We're going to drop into chair one more time. Bring our hands to heart center. And you can simply just twist your body to the left, pulling in belly button toward the spine, or you can hook your right elbow to the outside of your left knee, thigh, and use that as leverage to find a deeper twist. Breathe into your belly and then release center. Other side, you can either just twist to the right or hook that elbow. Use it as leverage. And breathe. Back to center. Hands on the floor in front of you. Stretch up those legs. They can have a slight bend in them and walk those hands both over to the left. Release that neck. Walking through center over to the right. Back to center. And then dropping back down into garland pose. Maybe leaning into your toes from side to side, maybe circling, leaving those feet flat and circling around the ankles in one direction and then the other. Or just sometimes stillness is what's calling to you, and just really honoring that everything is just a suggestion. Using your hands, making your way to seated on the earth. And just taking a moment here. Winding down our practice, just slowly make your way down to laying on your back, knees bent up, feet flat, just in this productive rest pose. Tap into your senses. What do you hear whirring in the background? What do you taste? Your toothpaste or your breakfast or your coffee or your morning breath? Can you feel every point on the earth where your back is touching and your head, your booty, your feet, your toe? Ah. Bringing both knees into the chest, clasping those hands or reaching for opposite elbows, just making this tight ball contraction in the front of the hips, finding a rock if that serves you. And then bringing both feet up to the sky, both arms up to the sky in a dead bug. Here for just a moment. And then crossing right knee over left. and then bending down and reaching for your toes, or excuse me, the outsides of your feet or your heels, or if you can't reach there, you could reach for the outside of your ankles or the outside of your calves. But the goal is that your knees are stacked and that you're just finding a gentle pull so that those feet are coming apart from each other and toward you. You'll feel it. You'll feel the sensation, laying that back heavy into the earth. Maybe slightly tucking that chin and visualizing the back of your neck relaxing into the earth as well. Supine cow face. And then extending your left leg up toward the sky and dragging that right ankle out toward the left knee. So you're in this like figure four shape. Then we're gonna just do some flossing with that left leg, simply meaning you're gonna bend that left leg and then straighten it up toward the sky. You can use your right elbow to gently push open that right knee if you'd like. And just continue to bend and straighten. And now let's add the foot in. When you bend, flex those feet. When you straighten, curl those toes and point that ankle so your foot's in a fish shape. And then bend and flex. And then straighten and curl the toes and point the ankle. And just keep moving through that fluidly. Beautiful. Placing your left foot flat onto the earth, maybe bringing your hands to those hip creases and gently pulling down, creating a little space in that low back, that lumbar spine. And opening your arms up into a T and dropping that right foot down onto the left side of your mat. So you're in a twist. If you'd like, you can reach for that bottom foot, that left foot. You can reach for that with your right hand and really just let those knees fall and cross those legs. This is a deeper stretch. Or just keep that foot flat and stay in that less intense stretch twist that has all the benefits. Mm. When you're ready, bringing both hands and feet back up toward the sky. Maybe finding a sway back and forth along the sacrum. Maybe you want to activate some core and you want to explore dropping your left feet down toward the earth, right hand or uh, feet down toward the left, hands down toward the right, and then bringing them back up with the strength of your abs and dropping feet to the right, hands to the left. Maybe this is the last thing you want to do. And you're going to come into your cow face on the other side, crossing left knee over right, and then bringing those feet down, grabbing outsides of the feet or calves or ankles. Mm. Feeling into that sensation, maybe in the outer hips. And then bringing that right foot up toward the sky. Left ankle comes to cross in front of the right knee. So you're in this figure four shape. And then starting to floss that right leg, bending and then stretching all the way straight. Then bringing in that flexed foot with the bend. And then when you straighten, curling the toes and pointing that ankle. And when you feel ready, planting that foot on the earth and twisting over to the right side, planting that left foot firmly into the earth. Arms can be in a T, or you can give yourself a big hug, or you can wrap them into eagle. Slowly unwinding out of that twist, coming back to center, extending those legs long, both hands on the belly, and then finding this somatic rocking. And it's activated through your heels. So it really is about your feet sort of just like pointing and flexing gently. And it creates this rocking sensation in your body. We're going to do this for a couple of minutes. You can widen your legs a little more. Just find what's like comfortable for you. And we're going to begin to vibrate with the sound of Om, which is, they say, what contains all sounds. So, really holding everything, the love and the fear, the protection and the openness, the letting go and the holding on. We're just going to inhale, and then on the exhale, a nice, long, deep, reverberating Om 3 times. Om. Om. Coming to stillness. Placing that bolster lengthwise along your spine. Tip of the bolster at the base of your spine. And then laying over it in this really heart opening supported fish pose. Get comfortable, find where you can really relax and open and breathe into your heart space. Legs can be as wide as the mat, arms can be open. You can put an additional pillow under your head if you need a little more rise. Relax your toes, relax your feet, let your ankles melt and fall open. Relax your calves and your knees, your thighs, your hamstrings. Let your hips melt into the earth. Let your belly slacken. Relax your chest, your heart space, your shoulders. Let go your arms, your wrists, your fingers and hands. Let open your throat, your face, the crown of your head, the back of your skull. The light in me recognizes and cherishes the light in you. I love you no matter what. Namaste.